All right, lovely. So we're going to be talking about contour. The first product that I have here, it's called Shape Tape by Tarte. It's the best concealer that I've found anyway. If there are others or ones that you like better, that's fine. The only thing that you have to make sure for your contour is that it is 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin. Now, those of you who watch the beauty bloggers who are 20 years old, we'll see that a lot of them will do sort of like a triangle under their eye, and they'll put a ton like all over their face. The problem with doing that with ladies of some age like us, or late 30s, early 40s, is that it settles into any fine lines that you have. So less is more, but you're still going to get the same effect if you are 20 years old. Go ahead and do like the whole triangle here to lighten up those areas, but it's really not necessary, and your product will last longer because this is expensive. I think this costs like $50 Canadian, if I'm not mistaken. So it's quite expensive, but it's worth the money. So when we highlight Annie in particularly, we're going to concentrate under the eye, but we're just going to dot it so that we get less product. And then on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to dip into a little more. We're going to go right down the bridge of the nose. Doesn't matter if it gets to the end because we low light that after. A little bit on the forehead. Also a dab on the Cupid's bow and a dab here. So when you think about highlighting, you're going to think about the spots that you want to be lighter. I know highlighting sounds like duh, right? And you're also going to think of the spots where the sun would naturally reflect off your face. And you're going to think about the spots that you want to emphasize. So you're going to see highlighted portions of your skin more. I'm taking the same sponge that we used from before. It doesn't matter that there's a little product still on it. And I'm going to work this down into a triangle. And a little bit up the side here. The reason why is because if I decide to do a complicated eyeshadow look and I want to cut her crease here, I'll already have like a line to follow. If none of that made sense to you, if you're a makeup beginner, it won't, and that's fine. You don't need to know that stuff. I'm just saying so. So I'm going to drag this down. I'm using sort of the pointy bit, and I'm going to drag it up along where I would naturally cut her crease and down into a triangle shape. Now, I don't know if you can see what a difference that made just to her complexion there, but it did. It also has the effect of concealing any under eye baggies or anything that you may have. Then we're going to take the fatter portion and just highlight the forehead. We're going to try to keep the center of the nose in a line as much as we can, because then we have to draw 2 lines down the side to contour to make it look a little thinner. We just want to make sure that we don't see any harsh lines, so we're going to blend it out a little bit. Cupid's bow, same thing. Again, you're going to see it's going over her lips. It doesn't matter because she's going to have liner and lipstick later. And this part is just to sort of make the chin a little bit less prominent. So that's an easy peasy quick highlighter for contouring, because we don't like to spend 50 hours with cream contour and just really snatching everything, because it doesn't look natural either. Now, for low lights, the contouring low lights, we use this palette NYX. You would choose whichever color goes best with your skin tone. So if you are a Caucasian person, you should have one of these skin tones. Mine is this. Annie's is more this. I use this one. She uses this one. Does that make sense to everybody? So you're looking for a shade that's 2 to 3 shades darker than your skin. Also, not one that's bright or has any shimmer. If all you have is a bronzer, it's fine. It's better that than nothing. But you want one that's kind of matte. So I've opened it up now and you can see that they're pretty mattified. You don't want something shiny all over your face. So I'm going to start with this fluff brush here. It's a big brush, you'll notice. I'm not going to use it for the whole face, but I am going to use it for the forehead because the forehead is a large area and I don't want to spend all day there. For a cisgender woman, what you would do is you would kind of draw a number 3 on the face with your lowlighter. For a transgender girl, it's a little bit more difficult because you have to look at the face and see what parts have to be minimized. Often, what you'll see here is that the forehead is larger. But what you wouldn't do for a cisgender woman is you wouldn't draw a little circle here. You're doing it for a transgender girl because it automatically makes this portion look smaller, and then your highlight pulls this part of your face forward. It minimizes the brow bone, which is also an effect of testosterone, and you want to hide all those effects of testosterone if you're feminizing the face. And that works just a little better than just doing a line. Also, you notice I'm not doing harsh lines. I'm just sort of buffing it in because like a very harsh snatched contour, again, not for ladies of a certain age. And also it's not wearable on the everyday. So that's the only part that I'm going to use this big brush for. Now I'm putting into the same color this contour brush. It's very dense, so it applies a lot of product, and it also has this nice angle here, so it gets right under the cheekbone. Annie, can you? Just to show them where your cheekbones are. Annie has really prominent cheekbones. This part of the cheekbone you would highlight later, so I'll show you that. Where you want to put your contouring is in this area. If you want a really snatched, thin looking face, so if you're cisgender like me, you would just do a line. If you want a chubbier looking cheek, which you may want if you're feminizing, you would do a line, but swoop it up here to create that kind of chubby, I don't know, anime-like cheek. Okay, you can let it go because I know where your cheeks are. So you would start up here. Again, less is more. These are buildable. And you would just swoop it up there toward the nose to create that cheek that you want. It's not enough product, add more, and that's okay. But you can see already here I'm creating like a divot in the cheek. You see that? Now I have to do her other side. Sorry, I'm gonna have to pull her face away from you and mine, but you can definitely watch where you start sort of here and then boop up. So you get a cute little boop right there. Now, same brush, we're going to go into the jawline right underneath and sort of erase some of that jaw. And he's got a larger chin, so I also drag it up into the chin area. You want to be careful not to put too much there because it can look like a beard, which we just worked hard to erase. But we just kind of boop away the chin like that. It's hard to see with the bright light, eh? But can you already see that she's a bit more contoured now? In here. I don't have to blend upward, I'm that good.
Yeah, but you have to mention it.
I'm being told that I have to mention blending upward. Okay, so if you put a little too much product here and you need to blend it, always blend it upward, not downward, because if you blend it downward, again, you're going to get this beard look.
Downward to masculinize, upward to feminize.
Except for people like me who have a super round face, I would go in here with mine and then put it down a little bit because that thins out my situation. But you don't really want that when you're feminizing. I already have this hyper like feminized cartoon face, so it works for me, but it won't work necessarily for the longer faces with the larger jaws and so forth. So we're done with that for now. The next step I usually do is blush, because what we try to do is we try to do the bronzer or the contour, then blush just over top. You want them to sort of fade into each other, and then highlighter. I got a tip from somebody that I want to use, so I'm going to try it with you guys for the first time, which is bronzer or contour, highlighter, and then blending them together with blush. So we'll see how that works. I also forgot to do her nose. I'm actually not done. So we're going to go back and contour the nose. Everybody's probably screaming at the screen, what about the nose? I have trouble opening my palettes. I'm an artist who can't use her tools. Annie is like my savior. So I put a little bit more of that same color on here, and I'm just going to draw a line. By the way, you apply first where you want the most color to be. I want the most color to be along the bridge of her nose because it makes it look really sort of cute and pinched. And then blend it out into the end. It's just a line. Like, don't do this, don't go crazy. Just do a line in one direction. And we're going to do the other side. And then I do a little bit here to erase that tip, just to make it look a little smaller. I don't know if you can see the difference, but it's a huge difference. Now we're done with this for real. So the next step I'm going to do is highlight. I'm going to use this powder highlighter just because I want to show you guys how to use it, because it's more common. When we're in a hurry at home, we tend to use this milk. It's like a cream highlighter that you can just put on and go. But I'll show you guys how to do powder highlighter because, dropping all my stuff. Powder highlighter because it's more common, cheaper, and easy to get. And if you're in a pinch, you could also use like a shimmery eyeshadow or anything that you have around. So highlighter is basically something that is your skin tone or clear, never darker than your skin tone, and it's very shiny. I don't know if you can see that. I'm taking this fan-like brush. It could be even more fanny, but I couldn't find my fan brush. And I'm just lightly dipping it in. You do not want to put highlight all over your face. I know a lot, again, of these beauty bloggers that highlight their whole face, and they just look oily. You're going to look oily. So what you want to do is you want to take this very gently, because you can't take off. It's easy to put more, but it's hard to take off. And you find the cheekbone, and you just sweep it up and down the cheekbone until it looks adorable and shiny. And then the same on the other side. Sorry, need to see that cheekbone. So it looks adorable and shiny. The further down you hold your brush, the less pressure you're going to put and the less product you're going to put. And with highlighter, it's always good to be on the side of caution. I also like to highlight the bridge of the nose, the tip of the nose, a little bit in the center of the forehead. I wouldn't do that for myself because I have dry skin and it just flakes. But to feminize, it's nice. A little bit here, a little bit there. That's all. That's all you need. You don't want to go out into the sunshine and look like a disco ball. Now I'm going to try this new theory that I heard, but blending the two together with the blush. Now we have a cute little blush palette here. We have tons of blushes, but I like this one because we can mix them together. I always like when a girl looks very rosy when she puts blush on, because I figure what's the point of putting blush if you don't? So I take always a little of this one and a little of that one, tap it off again, not too much. And I always end up putting too much anyway. So I will show you also how to fix that if it happens. And then you sort of go in between the two, like you put the highlighter, or you put the lowlighter here, you put the highlighter there. And your blush is supposed to marry those two together. See, I didn't do too much this time. It's just a cute little cheek. See that?
Very cute.
Yeah, it is cute. Yeah. Applying a little more and tapping it off. And just in between the two is a little bit of a cute little boop. That might be a little too much. I can show you how to fix it. But before I do that, with what's left on your brush, don't put more product on your brush. So a little on the tip of the nose, a little on the brow, a little on the chin. Okay? That brings kind of a rosy glow to the whole situation. And you've got less of that sort of whiteness going on in there. Now, remember that fluff brush from earlier? I'm just fluffing off any of the low light that's left on my arm. That's why I always look like a Picasso when I'm done doing a makeup for someone. And we'll just blend it, because I do find that the red is a little too red.
That's where it's helpful to remember, if you blend downwards, it can look more masculine. If you blend upwards, it looks more feminine. Always
Up. When you're feminizing, always up, up, up. Because you know that whole facelifted, snatched thing. So this is a complete base for facial feminization. I'm wondering if we should try to turn the light off so they can see it in a more natural light.
Let's see.
Well, I don't know if I love that either, but yeah, a little bit of a darker light. You can see that you can't really see the beard as much or at all. And you can see the cheeks are like snatched up and cute. The forehead is a little bit minimized.
Hair's a little messy.
And that would be the base for your makeup look. So we're going to cut it here, I think, and continue on with the coloring in another video.